welcome on back, everyone, for week 3 edition of the weekly Walkoff podcast. I'm joined by co-host Dave Brigido, outside of the pool, out of his natural habitat that is not his bedroom. And then I'm also joined by special guest Brett Caladie. Brett, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm sorry, I just hit my computer. My light just fell. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely glad to have you. Member of Snack Shack. Uh, First time under Snack Shack. So Brett is usually a member of the False Idols or Moonshots or whatever hell Costco changed its name to every year. Brett, we'll start off with questions. How does it feel to be outside and not under the control of John Costco anymore?
You know what? I hate to say it, but I miss Kotsko. No, I do miss Kotsko. He's a great captain, great guy. I love playing with him. But after last season, I kind of told myself I kind of want to play with more people. I want to try to play with everyone if I can before I'm done in this league, because as my arm only has probably a few years left. But yeah, I wanted to play with everyone in the league. I wanted to get some more outside experience with different people, and so far I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I think over the fall when we were at Core Four and we heard the rumblings of Brett and Stu joining Alex and Dotzel, we're like, oh my god, that team's gonna be a super team. It's gonna be a team to beat and towards the top or echelon of the standings. And here we are through 3 weeks, and that's right where you guys are. So great team. We had a battle in week 1. Unfortunately, we were unable to miss you. We were fortunately actually able to miss you because shout out Tom Hannon for scheduling that golf tournament. But again, looking forward to the next time we match up when we face again in the division.
yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. It's one I have marked on my schedule for sure. I'm excited to always play a good game, no matter the outcome. It's always fun, and you guys are a great team, so it'll be a good time.
Absolutely. Dave, will you be in attendance that game? Because right now you're 1 for 3 in weeks shown up.
Which game am I in attendance for?
Oh, just this guy. He's not even listening to the conversation.
They're in our division.
Yes, Dave.
Um, I might show up.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. On to recapping week 3. We had only the 3 matchups. We had Roadkill versus Ballbusters, Snack Shack versus Bases Loaded, and then wrapping out the night, 1776 versus Flying Squirrel. So recapping week 3 will be pretty quick. We'll start with the first series of the day, which was the Ballbusters versus Roadkill. So give me 1 second to get game 1 up and running. Starting with game 1, it was a final score of 20-0 in favor of Roadkill. Ended in 2 innings. Pretty much what we probably all expected coming into this week. Roadkill just too good for the opposition. Jagger 4 of 4 with 6 RBIs. I went 3 of 4. Julian 2 of 3. Max 3 of 3, Teddy 2 of 2, Joe Kraus 3 of 3. Big game from Joe Kraus. Didn't get out once. Jacob Hunter 3 of 3, and Jace Decker making his season debut 1 of 2. Home run by Jagger. No hitter by Teddy. Granted, it was only in the 2 innings. But over to the other side of it, the kids looked pretty good. They looked like they were having fun. All hitless, unfortunately, but their pitcher actually looked pretty good. I don't know if Brett, if you've faced him yet. I don't think you have, but Chris Tibble, this kid, it looks like he has a pretty nasty knuckleball. And I know it sounds crazy because he let up 20 runs. Like his stat line's not the greatest, but he was throwing strikes and he was throwing consistently a good knuckleball, and it made me deceptive. I struck out to him once, and it was the only time I got out all day. But it was gross. It was pretty good, and for how young they are and their arms are so underdeveloped, the more they just get repetition with it, I think they'll be good with it in the long run. Brett, we'll go over to you. Anything you want to add to game 1? I know a little lopsided here, but anything you want to add?
No, I think we're good. I kind of what you'd expect here. I just hope both teams had fun, and it seems like it did. So they did. So
Dave, anything you want to add before we head into game 2?
I mean, seems like Roadkill had fun.
Dave, you are still very, very quiet. I don't know what it is. Is like it?
Roadkill had fun.
Okay.
That's it.
There we go. Much better on the audio standpoint. Moving over to game 2, we had Roadkill winning in a third inning mercy rule again, 15-0. Roadkill again smacked the cover off the ball. Jagger 0 of 2, did have 2 RBIs though, and 2 walks. Jacob 1 of 3. I went 4 of 4 with a home run. Spaz went 3 of 4 with 2 home runs. Max, Teddy, both collectively 2 for 2, 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Joe Kraus went 0 of 0 with 3 walks. So Joe Kraus has an 1,000 batting average. Yes, you heard that right. He leads the team in Roadkill. And then Jace Decker 1 of 1, 3 RBIs and 2 walks as well. Max took the mound in this one. Not something you see regularly from Roadkill. His first career win in the BWBL on the mound. He went 3 innings, pitched 5 hits, 0 runs. We were just playing lob ball to the kids, so we were just letting them have fun, let them hit the ball around. Chris Teeble on Ball Busters, 3 of 3. Brennan Baldwin 0 of 3. Michael Wash 0 of 2, but had a walk. Sydney Ralston 0 of 1 with a walk, and then Rachel Baldwin 1 of 2. But collectively, a good series from Roadkill, learning series from Ball Busters, and Roadkill did spend time afterwards hanging out with the team. We played basically a third game because we finished the game so early that we just let them play around and hit the ball. We just lobbed it to them, and it got some much-needed practice for them. I think it'll just help them build confidence in the long run. Boys, anything you want to add? We'll start with you, Brett. Anything Ball Busters, Roadkill? I know it's tough to always analyze these series, but anything you want to add before we move on to the next one?
No, again, kind of what you expect, but congrats to Max on his first win, and good for Joe showing the kids how to hit a little bit. So, congrats to you guys, and probably a good series. So,
Dave, anything you want to add before we move on to Loaded Snack Shack?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, but yeah, we say Chris Tibble looked pretty good on the mound. Maybe he's a rising star in the league, perhaps, coming up in the upcoming years. So, I don't know how old he is. He's like younger, or like teenage young. I'm not really sure. Smalls, how old is he?
I don't know off the top of the head, but he looks like he's probably like middle school, I would say, just going into the cusp of high school.
Pretty good. Like, we saw Teddy and Max when they were younger, and people didn't really take them seriously. But I think I always knew they were kind of going to be good. So maybe this is kind of what we see in these younger ball buster kids.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move on to the second series of the day. We have Snack Shack versus Bases Loaded. Me and Dave got a little flamed in the Discord saying, "Oh, they rated Snack Shack to 20-0 us, but they didn't 20-0 us, so they're not the best team." Well, guess what? Peck is the damn same result. You guys got mercy rolled. Game 1, 15-0. Snack Shack in 3 innings. John Devers, however, I will give praise. He looked really good in inning 1 before having some control issues in inning 2. Only letting up 3 runs to a Snack Shack lineup that has no holes in it, I think is a big thing. So if he can find what he had in inning 1, I think that this team may have found their starting like their ace, their number 1 pitcher. We'll go through the stats here. Snack Shack 4 of 5, 4 RBIs. Brett Caladie, that is. Jake 5 of 6, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He led the offensive here. Dalton 1 of 3, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Stu Caladie 1 of 3, 1 RBI, 3 walks, and then Dotzel rounding out 4 of 5 at the bottom half, flipping it over. Brett on the mound in this one, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, so a shutout for him. Another one on his long list of scoreless innings and scoreless outings. Then over to the other side of it, bases loaded. Andy Peck, revenge game against Jake, Dotzel, and Dalton. No Alex this week as well, but 0 of 1 for Peck with a walk. Devers 1 of 2, Mosier 0 of 2, Sliker 0 of 2, Sean, my father 0 of 2, and then Kevin 1 of 2. Brett, when you're on the mound, these are quality hitters. It's not like they have like a weak spot in their lineup because they are known to be all relatively good hitters. Knowing that they don't have the pitching to keep up with you guys, what is your what is your mindset when you're on the mound against these guys?
Yeah, good question. My mindset's really kind of just throw strikes. So these kind of games, I think I know our offense is really really good, and I'm excited for this year with this offense. But yeah, in these kind of games, I'm just trying to throw strikes, not make my fielders too bored, like by throwing a ton of balls, and then to keep them keep them excited and kind of have that carryover when we're on offense again. Which thankfully this week I was able to throw a little more strikes than I'm usually accustomed to, so I was pretty happy with that. And yeah, so.
Yeah, I felt like in anyone I was umpiring this first game, you're like, every at bat was just going 3-2, and you're like, well, guys, every AB here is a full count. And you're not making it easy on yourself, but it looks like you settled in, only allowing the one walk. Jake Lukacek is throwing you some shade in the chat. He says, your mindset isn't to throw strikes. Come on, with a laughing face. But yeah,
Walk every guy.
you guys handled business in game one. Probably underperforming offense from bases loaded. Usually you expect them to put up a couple runs. But when you're facing Cy Young candidate week in and week out, it's tough to tally some runs. One of these kind of games against you, you're trying to win 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, low scoring game. So when it jumps to 15, you're a little discouraged coming into the batter's box. Dave, I don't see you on the cam anymore. Are you still there, buddy? Oh, there he is.
Hi,
The Hall came. All right, Dave. Game one loaded, losing 15-0 to Snack Shack. Anything you want to add?
I know the Wiffleball analyst Andy Peck is really happy they only lost 15-0 instead of 20-0. So I mean, that's a positive base loaded, I guess. Other than that, I mean, Snack Shack did its thing. It's a really good hitting team all around, and that's how most of their wins are going to be this year. 15-0, unless you're playing a team like Roadkill or maybe they're a really good hitting team.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into game two here. Very similar scoreline, at least 13-1. This game went 4 innings in favor of Snack Shack. They started off with 2 in the first, 1 in the second, so George was able to handle a business in the first 2, but then they exploded for 8 in the third and really put it over the gap of the 10-run rule in the 4th inning. Snack Shack 3 of 5, 3 RBIs for Brett Caladie with 2 walks. Jake Lukacek 2 of 4 with 3 RBIs. Dalton had a big game here, 5 of 7, 5 RBIs. He had a home run. Stu 1 of 3, 4 walks to his line, and then Dotzel rounding out the bottom half of the lineup, 1 of 5, 3 RBIs and a home run to his line. Dotzel took the mound in game 2. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. So Dotzel's finding his groove. Dotzel's always been a really consistent pitcher. I think after the week 1 outing when he faced Roadkill, it was his first week back after throwing for so long. So I think it's just him now finding his groove and making the needed adjustments as you head into the postseason when we get to that time. Obviously, we're only in week 4, but you want to just continuing to build good starts after good starts as you move on towards the later half of the season. Bases loaded, 2 of 3 from Peck, so Peck was able to bounce back after game 1. Devers 0 of 4 with 4 Ks. Mosier 3 of 2. Sliker 1 of 2. Fernandez 1 of 3. Kevin 1 of 3. So pretty balanced hitting 1 through 6 here from bases loaded side of it, but they just couldn't stretch across any runs. George Mosier on the mound in this one, 4 innings pitched, 12 hits, 13 runs, 11 walks, 5 Ks. Like I said, he'd had a good inning 1 and 2, but then struggled in the third. Brett, were you guys? It's going to be a crazy question, but were you either any of you guys like concerned after the second inning? You're only up 3-0. Was there any thought of that in your mind?
No, not really. I think our offense slowed down a little bit. Just after an hour, the boys are tired already. But no, George is a good pitcher. I mean, that first inning, he threw really well. I know he struck me out to start the game, and he was throwing pretty well. So I wouldn't say we were scared. We were definitely like, hey, we should lock in a little bit more, and which we did. So I was happy with our third inning. But just overall happy with the offense in general that day.
Brett, how much of a relief is it on your shoulders? Because usually in years past, it's pretty much you, Stu, and formerly Tom, who carried the offense for your respective teams. Knowing that like you had to get through the bottom half of your lineup for it to get back flipped over to the top for you guys to get another opportunity at batting. How comfortable is it knowing that 1 through 6, all 6 of you are quality hitters, and all of you can strike for a moment's notice on helping the teams score some runs?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good feeling. No, like, no shade at Kotsko and those guys that I've played with for years. Like, I love them. But these are Silver Slugger winning teammates I have now, and I feel pretty confident anytime anyone steps up to the plate, which is a really good feeling. Um, yeah, I love to see it. I hope we stay locked in and continue to just keep hitting the ball.
So I suck.
What?
No, Bridget, I would never say that.
Don't slurp me too much, Dalton says in the chat.
Brett,
Oh
I do have
boy.
a question for you.
Okay.
Was it
What's up?
ever a question to your team that, I mean, obviously you and Tom still play with each other at Ma and UWIFs too. Was it ever a question to sign him to the team?
No. I love Tom. He's my teammate, like you just said, everything. I think when we kind of were talking about forming this team, we were like, we just kind of wanted to be these 6 guys we have here. And then that was kind of it. Like, we didn't really want to keep adding players or have anyone more because we feel pretty good about our attendance with this team. Like, we might have a week where a guy or 2 misses, but we should have more than 3 every week, which is a really good feeling. Shout out to Stu, our captain of the year. I think it's just a really good feeling to have full attendance. So I didn't think we needed Tom. I love Tom, but I think this year I kind of wanted to just stray away a little bit, and he wanted to focus on more that kind of stuff. So
I mean, I think it's benefiting both of you guys because I think you're in. I think last time I saw Moss standings, you're in 4th place, 5th place.
yeah, I'm not sure currently, but we're doing pretty well. And like, let me tell you, Tom is hitting the crap out of the ball in Ma right now. So I hope he keeps it up and we just keep rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought now this is kind of straying away a little bit from BWBL, but I saw a big conversation was the NWLA tournament being sponsored by Sheets out in Pittsburgh. Do you have any interest of ever going down and competing in NWLA? Like, I know that's a completely different format than what Ma is and UWIFs is, but have you ever like thought of like how that format is listed and what that kind of thought process is?
Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, our last MAW tournament was in Washington, where the NWLA tournament will be being held this year. So we were talking, I forget his name, but we were talking to the guy who kind of helped us set up the field for MAW, and who's also going to be running NWLA. We were talking to him, and I was kind of asking about the format and stuff, and yeah, it's definitely super interesting. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Just overall, different formats are always fun for me to try to like go from slow pitch to medium pitch to super fast pitch and then fast pitch yellow bats, which I've never tried before, but I think it'd be super fun to try and definitely good competition out there. So yeah, for sure.
It's a great time. It's very similar to like the atmosphere of UWIFs. BWBL used to go down every year. I think the last time we went was 2017, 2018. Yeah, and that could be completely wrong, but I know we did go for like a 5-6 year stretch, maybe even longer. But it was a great time. We went when it was held in, where was it? I can't even think of, Michigan, where WSEM plays and all them. And it was a great time. The atmosphere is very similar to, like I said, UWIFs, obviously not on a minor league stadium, but just a park, and just seeing the 7-6 different fields of wiffleball going on at one time is a good time. And like you said, it certainly benefits the pitching because of the yellow bats and non-cut balls, not clean balls, and hitting it with the yellow bats is just insane. I can't imagine how it is now, because last time I went was, I think, 5-6 years ago, so it's probably even crazier with how developed arm talent is across the country. So yeah, I just saw that it was recently sponsored by Sheets. I think that's a cool thing. national or I don't know if Sheets national or is it regional. I don't know for certain, but still a very big corporation sponsoring a Wiffleball tournament is such a cool thing. Like the funding, the publicity the sport of Wiffleball gets, I think is such an amazing thing. So I think that was a great job by the tournament runners. They're getting that sponsorship. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, we'll move into the last series of the day, probably the best one of the day. We got 1776 versus Flying Squirrels. This one was in favor of 1776. Game 1 went to a score of 14-11, very close game. Game 2 went to favor of 1776 and an 11-2 finish as we pull up the stats here. Let me find 1776 and we'll hop in. From my knowledge, I unfortunately was not in attendance in this game, but from what I heard, it was a very close game. Both teams jumped out to... Oh my god, this stat line is insane. Both teams jumped out to 1-1 in the first, and then in the second, 1776 was the home team, bounced out to a 4-run lead, and then the Flying Squirrels in the top of the third jumped out to 10 runs to take an 11-5 lead, and then 1776 answered back with 9 runs in the bottom of the third to win the game 14-11. So a crazy stat line here in the box score. Looking at some of the stats, Ryan Coleman 0 of 3, 2 RBIs, 4 walks. Jay Shemansky 3 of 4, 4 RBIs. He had a home run, or Derek maybe have had a home run. I hate league lineup how if you have two of the same last names you don't know which one it is. So Derek Shemansky 2 of 5, 4 RBIs. He also possibly had a home run. JP Copa 1 of 3, 1 RBI, 3 walks to his line. Derek Shemansky 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 14 runs, 15 walks. So control was a big issue for him in game 1 here. I think this team, Flying Squirrels, is pretty good if they can stay under the gun and also limit the walk total. So that's something they're going to want to develop and work on over these next couple weeks as we head into the home stretch of the season. And then 1776 looks like they had a 4-man lineup across Mikey Holloway, John Kilheeney Houdini, Brett Rooney, and Joey Dooner. I don't know why I said Dooner. 3 of 5 for Holloway, 4 RBIs, 2 walks. Houdini 1 of 2, 5 walks. Rooney 0 of 2, 4 walks, but did have 3 RBIs. And Dewar 1 of 2, 2 RBIs, 4 walks. So it looks like it wasn't very key hitting that brought them back in this game. It was more of just the walk total of Shemansky. Dewar did get the win in this one. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 11 runs, 10 walks as well to his line, but he did have 8 Ks, striking out 8 batters of the Flying Squirrels. So looks like it was a close game. I said the Flying Squirrels are going to be competitive this year, taking probably one of the top 4 teams to the last bats, and only losing because of the walks. The walks not really being out hit was a big thing. Brett, we'll go over to you. Flying Squirrel 76. Were you surprised by this stat line at all?
No, I think just pretty close. I mean, I think anyone can compete with anyone at the end of the day. So any close games, I mean, it's Wiffleball. Anything can happen. That's what I love about it. The worst ranked team can even beat the top ranked team in any given day. It just depends on the day. Walks will kill you though. So I've learned the hard way. I still struggle with it. Just get in your head, throw strikes, and that's it. Less movement is better if you can control it. More movement, you can't control it. So.
No, absolutely. I think pitching is so hard. I can't give any more credit to the people that are pitching at a high level because I can't do it at a high level, and I just think that if you want to be competitive in this league, you have to have the depth of arms you can have. Is such a big thing. Yeah, Flying Squirrels. I think from what I know, like I said, they were up 11-5 in the top of the third, so they had the game in their grasp of winning, but couldn't bear down and throw strikes. Dave, are you still with us? You just hounding down your halal? Yep, he's here. Dave, Flying Squirrels 76, 14-11 finish in game 1. Anything you want to add before we move on to game 2?
I think I predicted a sweep in this one, like last podcast.
Of who?
of the series.
Yeah, but who did you have sweeping?
No, my apologies. I predicted a split.
Oh, okay.
My fault. Obviously it wasn't a split. Spoiler alert. But no, the Squirrels compete. They got some good arms. I think hitting they still have to kind of figure out. So I guess they were kind of taking their walks in game one. But like Brett said, walks are gonna kill you. So you gotta take advantage of what you can take advantage of. So that's kind of what they did. But fortunately, they just kind of fell short.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're seeing the growth. They're putting up 11 runs. Granted, it was a walk fest. It sounds like. But they collectively hit the ball pretty well just from 1 through 5 in their lineup, the Flying Squirrels, that is. So, again, Wiffleball is brand new to them, so the more that they see pitches, the more they see at-bats and continue to throw at-bats, the more confidence they're going to get as the season goes on. Moving into Game 2 here, we have 1776 winning in a scoreline of 11-2. Relatively close. It was kind of nickel and dimed all the way to an 11-2 finish. It was 0-0 after 1. 1776 then proceeded to put up 3 in the second, 1 in the third, and then Flying Squirrels answered back with 2 of their own, so it was 4-2 after the third, and then 1776 pulled away in the fourth and the fifth, 4 in the fourth, and then 3 in the fifth, with a final scoreline of 11-2. Mikey pitched in this one. You don't really see Mikey on the mound often, but he looked good. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. You don't see Mikey often on the mound, but it just shows that, like, if in a moment's notice, if the 1776 needs to use him, he's a quality arm. He doesn't want to pitch, I believe, to my knowledge. I think he just wants to be there. But when he's on the mound, I think on the bump. Hitting wise, 4 of 9 from Mikey. Houdini went 1 of 3 with 6 walks and 2 RBIs. Rooney 3 of 7. He had 2 home runs. Houdini had a home run. Oh my God, look at that. And then Dewar 1 of 3, 2 RBIs and 4 walks to his line. Wow, that Houdini home run had to have been electric. The stadium must have been bumping. Flying Squirrels, Ryan Coleman, 1 of 7, 6 strikeouts, so not a great line from him. This is kind of maybe like a welcome to the league moment because they had a relatively easy schedule so far this season, but a welcome to the league moment maybe. 1 of 7, 6 strikeouts. Jay Szymanski, 2 of 2, 5 walks. Derek Szymanski, 1 of 6, and then JP Copa at the bottom of the lineup, 2-5. JP Copa is a sick name, I'm not going to lie. It kind of just rolls off the tongue. And then Ryan Coleman on the bump, 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 11 runs, 11 walks, 5 Ks. 1776 getting the sweep. Brett, anything you want to add on this series before we look ahead to week 4?
No, not really. It sounded like it was kind of close the entire day, really, up until those last 2 innings of the last game. So, no, it's cool to see, and good luck to those guys the rest of the way. And 1776, I think spoiler alert, I think we see you this weekend. So.
Dave, anything you want to add before we move on to the week 4 matchups?
I'm really surprised to see Mikey take the mound and actually kind of have that. I don't know the word I want to use, but usually when Mikey takes the mound recently, he doesn't really care too much or anything. So I wasn't there. I wasn't watching him pitch, but I mean, he only gave up 2 runs against a fairly good hitting team, even though they're kind of young in their Wiffleball career. It's nice to see Mikey get back on the mound because I think if he really wants to give it his all, I think he could be a top pitcher in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it was a late series, so Artem not being in attendance probably you won't see him a lot during the late series, I don't think. That's just a guess. I don't know entirely, but that's my assumption. And then no Neely, no Quick. So if Artem's not going to be in attendance, you're going to need Mikey to step up and be that number 2 arm, I think, as we go down the stretch. All right, we'll move on to actually we're going to hold off and do the week 4 predictions. We're going to hop into the captain's poll. So this was our first edition of the captain's poll here in the 2025 season. So we'll quickly, I don't have any graphics yet. Our graphic teams was really busy this week, so unable to get some graphics made about this, but we'll have them up and going by the end of the week. But we'll start with how the captain's poll works. So We asked all the captains to rank each team from 1 to 8 so that on order of who they think is the best team, obviously, and one being 1, and then who's the worst team being 8. After the captains give me their list of 8, it's added up into points. So first place gets 8 points, second place gets 7 points, third place 6th, fourth place 5, fifth place 4, sixth third, or 6 3 points, 7 2 points, and then 8 1 points. We also eliminated the one of the top spots. So for example, we'll say roadkill, we'll say, for example, just so that everyone gets a clear picture on how this was scaled, if Ballbusters rated themselves first, we would drop their highest voting, and we also drop their lowest voting. So it'll be only 6 that they're graded on. So that way it eliminates teams showing bias to themselves, and also eliminates teams maybe hating on other teams just for the sake of it. So with that being said, our first captain's poll of week 4 BWBL of the 2025 BWBL season has Roadkill in first place with 7 first place votes, shortly followed up by Snack Shack with 1 first place vote, third being Scared Hitless, fourth being 1776, fifth being Flying Squirrels, sixth being Bases Loaded, seventh being Phoenix, and eighth being Ballbusters. So Brett, we'll turn it over to you. Any surprises on this list? I personally think it's kind of cut and dry, pretty ordered, balanced, I think, to what the standings say. Anything that jumps out to you?
No, I think you're right. It's pretty cut and dry. I mean, Roadkill definitely are in that number 1 spot. And the Ballbusters definitely, I mean, not definitely, but are in that last spot without any wins. I don't think, does Phoenix have any wins yet?
I don't think so. Let me quadruple check that. Why?
I think the bottom of the standings, like power or the captain's poll rankings, I think all those games are gonna be pretty interesting. But yeah, I would say no real shocks there. Yeah, just pretty cut and dry.
Dave, over to you. 1 through 8. Any shockers there?
No, not really. I think Roadkill deserves to be in first. I think a lot of people were kind of up in air about, is it going to be Roadkill on top, Snack Shack? I mean, so far, obviously there was no Brett, but then again there was no Teddy. So I think a lot of the people in the league want to see both teams at full force, and I think we'll have a better understanding of who's the real number 1. But right now, Roadkill has swept the series, so definitely very deserving of it. Snack Shack not too far behind them though. It's I know it's 1 and 2, but it feels like 1 and 1.2 because this is such a very tight group of teams right there on top. It's really nice to see who's gonna battle out and win it all at the end.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised that Snack Shack didn't get more first place votes. Like you said, we're kind of 1A and 1B. Dalton says in the chat, it's Dave shooting porn. He keeps going in and out with minimal clothing.
What? Who said what?
Dalton said, "Is Dave shooting porn? He keeps going in and out with minimum clothing." No, Dave is usually on his bed, laying down, doing the podcast. Now he's outside in the poolside. But like you said, Roadkill, Snack Shack, 1A, 1B until they match up again and get both teams at full force. And then, like we said, this is probably going to be a matchup in the postseason that everyone's going to have circled on their calendars. Scared Hitless being third kind of jumped out to me a little bit, possibly 1776 being higher than them. However, when they did match up, it was a split. So without Rooney being there, a couple other people not being in attendance, I thought brought that up to a couple question marks. I think that this is probably going to be how the season standings end up being. We'll see how this goes over the next couple of weeks when we do more of these captain polls, if there's any differences in the week to week. But I do think this is pretty much how it's going to be postseason wise. I can see Flying Squirrels, bases loaded, battling out for that last playoff spot, and then 1 through 4 being flipping 1 and 2 or maybe flipping 3 and 4. It could be a lot of different varieties. But I do think it's pretty cut and dry for our first Captain's Bowl. All right. Wrapping that up, we'll move back to looking ahead to week 4 of the BWBL season. Probably our most action-packed week of BWBL. So with that being said, we have Phoenix and Roadkill starting the week off in the 11 and 12 matchup. We'll start with that one. Dave, we'll go to you. If Phoenix needs one thing to happen for them to win this series, what needs to happen?
Sorry, who do they play?
Phoenix versus Roadkill.
Oh God. For Phoenix to win this series, one thing right, they would have to release everybody on their team and sign a whole new team. That's how Phoenix could win a game.
Awesome, Dave. I love the non-biased take there. I love that.
The honesty.
We'll go to Brett. Brett will probably be a more honest man here. Brett, if Phoenix needs anything to pull off an upset over Roadkill, what needs to happen?
I would think that everyone's got to show up for the Phoenix, and one person's got to step up. One or two people really got to step up, whether that's Mike Muth or Jack Storm or whoever's going to be there for them. Got to step up. Someone's got to throw some good innings. Allow minimum runs. You gotta try to win a game like 2-1. You just gotta keep Roadkill. It's hard. They're good hitters. But you gotta keep them at bay. Keep them less than 2 or 3 runs, and then just try to get 1 or 2 good hits. That's really all it is.
Yeah, Mike Muth, as you mentioned, has been a bright spot for the Phoenix rotation. What I've noticed though, just from watching his games, is it seems a little straight, but it's fast, obviously, so it's just being able to time it up. And he doesn't have a lot of, I would say, stamina. I think he goes out there, throws a good 1-2 innings, and then gets a little tired in innings 3 through 5. And I think with the depth of Roadkill and not having that issue, I think might be something to look towards in that matchup. Seeing somebody step up for Phoenix in game 2, whoever that be, comes on the mound, we'll see. I know they had another kid on their team. I think it may be a brother of Mike Muth or a cousin. I'm not entirely sure what their relation is, but he pitched for them, I think, in week 1. He looked pretty good. So we'll see if he's in attendance here in week 4. Roadkill, I think it's pretty much just continue to handle business. I think the stat line, I'd have to look it up, but since bases loaded jumped out to a 3-0 lead in us in 2 weeks ago, I think we scored 64 unanswered runs. So continuing that trend, I think, is going to be a big thing, and pushing towards continuing building confidence as we head into 1776 to end the first half of the season next week. We'll go to you, Brett. Phoenix, Roadkill, what do you got? Split, sweep, who do you got?
Sorry, Kotsko, I hate to go against you, but I think I got Roadkill 2-0 in this series.
Dave, over to you. I don't think I have to ask you, but I'm assuming Roadkill 2-0 for your vote.
Wait, can I actually want to, will someone else choose my picks?
Oh, sure, yes, absolutely. We like guests.
You want, okay, 2 games. 2 games. Phoenix and Roadkill. With all the information you know, there's 2 games. Who is going to win those 2 games? You have to guess. Roadkill by like what? Like, are they win 1 or are they maybe just win 2?
2.
Okay, Roadkill sweep.
Love that. Awesome. Thank you, Julia, for the guest appearance. All right, on to the second series of the day, which was another really good matchup. We have Snack Shack versus 1776. Probably, other than Snack Shack versus Roadkill in week 1, probably the best series to date so far in the young BWBL season. I think it's Cy Young candidate in Brett, Cy Young candidate in Artem if he shows up. The quality hitters both teams have. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be who comes out and hits better on that day. I think it's going to be who comes up with that clutch hitting. Dave, we'll go to you first just because this is Brett's series. Snack Shack 1776. If you're Snack Shack, or no, actually, we'll go to you. We'll go. If you're 1776, who do you need? Who needs to be the MVP for them to come out with this series win?
You need Artem to show up. But I think Artem showing up, I think that's him being the MVP. It's him just being in attendance for that series. Obviously, I think he's taking some time off. He's a kid, and life's just happening for him. But honestly, if he shows up, that's a huge game changer.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you get a Cy Young candidate to grace the presence on the field, I think is always going to be big for morale and big for team results. We'll go over to you, Brett. Snack Shack. I wouldn't say this is your first test because your team has faced Roadkill already week 1, but for you, I don't think you had a top 3 matchup so far this year. Obviously, you're already well experienced in fast pitch, so you're playing all year round. But looking towards your first big matchup in BWBL this season, what are you looking forward to?
No, I'm definitely excited. I love any competition. I mean, not saying the last 2 weeks haven't been competition. There's been some real good players on both teams we faced, but it's just kind of gotten away with us. We've kind of gotten away from the other team. So I hope this week is kind of the same as last 2 weeks. So there's a lot less stress going on, but I don't think it will be that way. I just want a good game, and I hope my Snack Shack plays really well. So.
Dave, we'll go to you. Snack Shack 76. We won't have Brett pick his own games, but who do you got and why?
I'm gonna go Snack Shack sweep. 76 really hasn't impressed me yet this year. Their pitching isn't consistent. I think they have a really good hitting team, but this is a pitcher's league, and you need that consistent pitching. So, that's something Snack Shack has. You have Brett, Alex, Steve, whoever you want to go to, honestly. So I think they're going to sweep.
Yeah, I am kind of wow, I couldn't speak there. I'm sorry. I'm kind of trending towards that direction as well. I do think playing the matchups might be a big thing. Probably getting Artem against maybe Dotzel and not Brett, and then Brett against Dewar, I think would be your best bet. You want to probably come in looking for a split, and then if you get the sweep, it's a bet and it's an added bonus. If the matchups play out Artem versus Brett, I tend to lean towards Snack Shack just because 1 through 6 they have the quality hitting compared to the other side of it where there is that drop off when it comes to averages and everything like that. But if let's see, this is like it's always a coin flip. I'm gonna go with my gut and I'm gonna say Snack Shack's gonna sweep 2-0. But I do think that there's a very high chance for a split here. I just think, like I said, if you play the matchup right, you're going in looking for a split, and then coming out with the sweep is going to be your best case scenario for 76. But when you have a lineup so deep at Snack Shack and you have 3 quality arms at a moment's notice on Snack Shack, I think 3 arms beats the 1 so far for 1776 so far. So I'm personally going to my official pick will be Snack Shack 2-0, but I do think it's going to be a lot closer than everyone's expecting it to be. All right, wrapping into the third series of the day, we have bases loaded versus flying squirrels in the 4-5 slot. So another really very big matchup when it comes to that 4-5 or that 5-6 picture come that postseason. Who's going to get that last spot in the postseason? Another one. I'll go to you, Dave, first because I want to hear what you say. Bases loaded, flying squirrels. Who do you got and why?
Tough one. I really oh God, it depends who shows up for the flying squirrels. God, bases loaded. They have pitching. Who do they have pitching?
Do they?
What?
Oh, I thought you were saying they had pitching, and that was my question.
No, I'm thinking like who they had consistently. Like they had your dad.
Devers showed bright spots last week.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like bases loaded kind of has that like those veteran like those veterans on the team, like hitting wise. Maybe they don't have like really good pitching, but like if Rob shows up, I don't know if Rob's been here yet this year. I think he maybe was once.
He was here once.
Yeah, I feel like if they have like their main group of like veteran guys, like Andy's going to be there, maybe Ryan Hart will be there. Like I feel like it's not going to matter who's pitching for them. If the Squirrels have that really good guy, I don't know his name, so I'm going to call him their really good guy.
Wozniak, Ray Wozniak.
Yeah, I feel like it could be a split, honestly.
That's a good call. Brett, we'll go to you. Bases loaded, Flying Squirrels. Who you got and why?
I'm with Brigido on this one. I think there's going to be a split. I don't know too much about the Flying Squirrels. I've been super busy the last few weeks. Haven't gotten to really watch any of their games or anything. I've heard some good things about them, and as we talked about a little bit ago, they built some momentum last week against 1776. So maybe their pitchers will come out a little better this week, and I kind of see it going both ways. Bases loaded's got some real good hitters. And Devers did pitch pretty well. He just kind of ran out of steam towards the end of the game. If he's kind of on and can keep that, I think it's going to be a good series overall. So I'll go split.
Yeah, I am trending towards that direction as well. I think this series plays out two ways. I think it's either going to be an absolute blowout by the Flying Squirrels just because they have the pitching and they have been proven to be quality hitters so far this season, or I really think it's going to be a gritty series win by bases loaded, high scoring games. They rely on the other team struggling with the pitching and then come up with the clutch hitting. I don't see a world where they split. I personally think it's either going to be too lopsided for the Flying Squirrels or too gritty enough for bases loaded to come out with it. I'm going to err on the side of the pitching just because of how dominant pitching is in this league. I'm going to go with Flying Squirrels sweeping 2-0. But like I said, I could see this being a bases loaded series win just because of how experienced they are and how gritty they are at the dish, and they don't really tend to swing at a lot of bad pitches unless you're my father. Shout out my dad. No, I'm just kidding. They kind of go up there with a stubborn approach at the dish, and Kevin always tells his teams don't give them anything to play with. So I do think I'm going to lean on the side of the pitching with the Flying Squirrels in a 2-0 sweep, but I do think that there is a very big opportunity here for bases loaded to come out with their second series of the year, second series win of the year. And then wrapping out the final matchup, another tough one to always talk about, Scared Hitless versus Ballbusters, 6:30, 7:30. I do think Scared Hitless will have a good time with the kids. I think it'll be a good matchup for them. I do think Scared Hitless is obviously going to win the game, but pretty much what you're going to expect. I think it's just going to be letting the kids have fun, but also handling business here with a series sweep. Brett, Dave, anything else you want to add on that? I think you're probably both in agreement.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. So we had, I think, up to 14 viewers. I think that's almost season high for this podcast this year. So I appreciate everyone hopping in, chatting with us. We have give us a follow on all of our socials. We have BWBL Net on Twitter, BWBL Net on Instagram, Diamond City Sports on YouTube, where all of our games are live streamed and uploaded the next day. BWBL Backyard Wiffleball League on Facebook if you want to give our league a follow on Facebook. We've been making a very big effort and conscious effort posting a lot of social media to grow to expand on the growth of our league, and I think our team has been doing a phenomenal job. So I want to give shout out to Ziabro, Pew, Peck, myself, on everyone who's stepping up and helping out with socials. Teddy Krause has been phenomenal since taking over the Instagram with his weekly content. Brett, over to you. Thank you again for joining us. Looks like we have a long slate of special guests coming up, so I put it into the Discord looking for guests, and I came back with an overwhelming of opportunities if people want to step up and be on the podcast, and you were the first one to message me. So thank you, Brett, for joining us. Your insight is always appreciated, especially coming from a player who's known as one of the top players in the league. Just seeing how you think about the game and communicate it, I think, is a big thing. So thank you for joining us this week.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And also, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to everyone who kind of keeps this league going and doing all the social media stuff, and you for even holding the podcast, you and Dave every week. I mean, it's great to try to see you guys grow the game a little bit and kind of expand the league, get it out there a little bit more. So I appreciate everything you guys do. I don't get to say it too often, so thank you so much for all of it. I really do. I watch a lot of it. I look at all of it. I appreciate it, and I enjoy watching it. So thank you guys so much, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. So
absolutely, thank you for the kind words. Dave, are you still there? Are you still eating halal? Or did he leave us?
I think Dave is gone.
Dave couldn't even say goodbye to the outro. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I hope everyone has a good weekend, and we will see you on Sunday on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.